Hey, everybody, am I serious? Fire Robert Saleh? Fire him? Fire him? Well, it's only week 3 that we're going into, right? It's only week 3. I'm overreacting, right? But am I? Am I? Is New England a must-win game for him? Should we say we've had enough? I'll be right back to talk about it right after this. So why am I riled up? Why am I screaming and yelling? What do I got to be so upset about, right? It's only one loss, right? What am I going nuts about? Why am I overreacting? I'll tell you why I'm overreacting. I'll tell you why I'm going nutso right now. Why I'm losing my mind. Because it's one thing to lose a football game, right? But not this way. Not because we have to have yet another coach that just screams incompetence. Yeah, I know he built us this wonderful locker room culture, right? It's always got to be something. We get this decent guy. He's a good man. He builds this good locker room where everybody loves each other and everybody's happy and everybody wants to play for him. But of course, there has to be the other side. And what is that other side is? This moron can't decide or can't determine what every single one of us know. Why does every single fan know that Laken Tomlinson is complete trash? Why does every fan who watched the preseason know that clearly Joe Tippmann is better than Laken Tomlinson? And the only way and if he's not, who cares? Because it can't be by a lot, because Laken Tomlinson is as about a bad a football player as you can possibly be. I don't care how much money he makes. I don't care what he did with San Francisco. He is trash. He is as bad as any guard in the NFL. I don't care about point ratings and people looking at the film. I don't need it. I don't want to hear it. I'm watching with my own eyes. He is complete garbage. He is diving at air. People are running around him. He is a freaking turnstile. I know everybody wants to yell at Dwayne Brown. You know what? I don't got beef with Dwayne Brown yet. Because I got beef with Robert Saleh, not Dwayne Brown. Because Dwayne Brown has played for 2 freaking weeks. He missed the entire camp. So don't put that on him. Put it on Robert Saleh. Because he's a liar. He lies to his players and he lies to the fan base. He got up there and he told, and I thought this was the best part of him. The most exciting part of Robert Saleh to me, aside from his defensive prowess, is that he worked with Pete Carroll. And the one thing I always respected about Pete Carroll, ever since Russell Wilson went nuts as a rookie, was that Pete Carroll did not care what your name was. He did not care what your draft position was. He did not care how much money you made. He did not care how many years you've been in the league. Pete Carroll made camp an open competition, and the best player at every position won the job. And Robert Saleh says that he is the same way, and he is full of crap. He is a liar. He is a coward who is afraid of the veteran players. He is afraid. He is frightened. Remember Chris Rock said when Will Smith hit him, it was selective aggression. You know, pick the guy that's like built like a twig. Right? That's the guy you're going to beat up when everybody's talking about your wife. Pick the easy guy to beat up. Well, that's Robert Saleh with his football players. He's a big man when it comes to freaking all the young players, right? Big, tough guy. Well, they got to work harder, earn their spot, and work harder, blah, 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 blah. And I'll sit them on the bench and I'll do all this crap, right? Meanwhile, there's no accountability for these pieces of crap on the field, like Laken Tomlinson, this piece of human trash who took God knows how much of our money and our salary cap to stink up the field and hurt our team. If he had any character at all, he'd either start to play like he's capable of playing or he'd give the money back, but he won't do that. You know how we have that fear that you give the big contract to the guy and the guy's no longer motivated? That's Lakin Tomlinson. He'll talk up a big game behind the scenes, right? He'll talk up a big game. He'll make you think, oh, I'm working hard, blah, 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 blah. He's not. He's not. Because skills don't erode like that. Motivation erodes like that. He's not motivated because he has his money. And that's what it's about for him, his money. And he has screwed this team. And he should ride the bench. I don't care if we're paying him $20 million a year. Lakin Tomlinson should sit on the bench. Connor McGovern had one bad game against Dallas. I'm not going to sit there and crucify him. He's a better than average center. So if I'm going to stick Tippmann in there, I'm going to take out Lakin Tomlinson. Why? Because Lakin Tomlinson has, what is this now, 17, 18 bad games since he become a Jet? He's done. Stick a fork in him. He's garbage. The money is gone. So feeling that you have to use him is absolute nonsense. The money is gone. We can't get it back. Cut your losses. He's a backup guard. At best. He's a backup guard that you groan when he comes into the game because you know that you're going to have a player who only cares about himself, a selfish player who doesn't play hard because he got his big contract. That's all he cares about is that big contract and all the money he has in the bank. That's what he is. He's a loser. But Robert Saleh is the bigger loser because Robert Saleh is too much of a coward to deal with that and to sit him down on the bench. Garrett Wilson played as a rookie. Sauce Gardner played as a rookie. And now I'm watching it. And it goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than that. Is there any Jet fan alive that's been watching this game that doesn't know that Jeremy Ruckert is better than CJ Uzomah? I mean, it's like the most obvious thing in the world. This guy gets a hard-on for players, and he can't let go of them. He can't get out of his head. What has CJ Uzomah done? Oh, he's a decent blocking tight end. Okay, he's fiery and passionate. Let's look at his numbers. He was hurt all the time, right? He was banged up a lot. Did he ever put up big numbers? Where are the numbers for this guy? Who is this guy? He's in the game missing blocks. Jeremy Ruckert has not screwed up a rep since I've watched him play for this team, since we drafted him. He comes in and he pancakes people. They sat him all last year. They wasted him away. After picking him with like the 100-something pick, they're wasting him away. They play him against Miami last year, and he's awesome. He's awesome in camp. In the 5 or 6 reps or whatever it is they give him, he's awesome. Much better than CJ Uzomah. And yet he's not getting the reps. Why? Why? Is it because Robert Saleh is too much of a coward to go over and say, let the kid play, sit the veteran down? Because it's a pattern that we're watching here, folks. We're watching this pattern. Tony Adams was so good, right? They loved him. They loved him last year. Then why the hell was he in? Why wasn't he in there for LaMarcus Joyner? Why was Will Parks in there? What the hell is going on? We got Jeremy Ruckert sitting on the bench and getting barely any reps while CJ Uzomah stinks it up. We got Lakin Tomlinson in the game stinking it up. Now let's talk about Dwayne Brown, right? Barely played camp, right? What do you expect? Is it because he's old or because he had 2 weeks of practice? Well, look, let's talk about it this way. Let's look at it this way. Robert Saleh, the liar, the lying Robert Saleh, who claims that camp best 5, starting the best 5. We're starting the best 5. How many times do we have to hear that idiot say that? We're starting the best 5. We're rolling with the best 5, right? How could you say that Dwayne Brown is the best 5 at left tackle when he missed all of camp and Becton did nothing but play well? So you move Becton over to the right side. Clearly, Becton is better than Dwayne Brown. No matter what you think about Mekhi Becton, he's better than Dwayne Brown. So why isn't he on the left side? Oh, well, Dwayne Brown doesn't play the right side. So you're going to tell me that it's not the better 5 if AVT comes out and plays the right tackle? Or you're not going to tell me it's better if you put Turner in there at right tackle but have Becton protecting the quarterback's blind side? And, whoa, Dwayne Brown can't play right tackle. Why? We just saw Becton do it. If the guy wants to play, let him play right tackle. But you said the best 5. Connor McGovern, nothing personal, buddy, but Joe Tippmann's better than you. He is. Oh, we're worried about shotgun. I'm concerned about it. I watched camp. There was nothing wrong with his snaps in the shotgun. It wasn't as clean. Give me a break. Give me a break. Okay, then put him at freaking left guard. I don't care. You can't sit the better, superior talent on the bench when you're losing. When you're failing to protect your quarterback. We already crippled one. We lost him for the season in his 4th freaking play. Right? We already lost one with this nonsense. Now we're going to lose Zach soon because we refuse to freaking protect him because we have guys sitting on the bench that are better than the guys playing. Ruckert is a great blocker. He offers protection. He could have helped if he played more. He's better than CJ. Becton could have been at left tackle. And even if he wasn't, why is Laken Tomlinson in there? Why is Joe Tippmann sitting on the bench? Why? Somebody tell me, explain to me why. Why is Randall Cobb getting snaps over McCole Hardman? Why did we get McCole Hardman? What was the point? There's no excuse. There's no excuse. And don't tell me, it better not be, oh, it's maybe he's bad in the locker room. He said the wrong things and he lost the right to play. Then you are responsible because you brought him in. But we got a 90-year-old wide receiver out there over a guy who's like one of the fastest wide receivers in the league. Why? Why? It doesn't make any sense. And if it was the only example, I'd think, oh, well, maybe he has an attitude problem. Fine. But they played Elijah Moore, who is the biggest diva twit in the world. And they let that douchebag go out there and play for us after he went home like a crying little baby. They let him play. What did his best friend that supported him do, Brown and the Eagles? He was crying while they were winning the game that he wasn't getting enough targets. This is the kind of character those guys were. But he was allowed to play Elijah Moore. Right? So it's just they just make up the rules for themselves. They're just inventing rules as they go along. If we go into New England and Laken Tomlinson and Connor McGovern are in that game and Joe Tippmann is not playing and we lose that game, Robert Saleh should be fired. He will have lost me completely as a fan. I don't know about you, but I am off his train. Because this is too important of a game where we have to literally have to worry about our coach doing the most fundamental, basic 101 coaching thing. Put the best players in the game. If we can't trust our coach to put the best players in the game, what the hell are we doing? If we lose with our best players out there, what am I supposed to say? You give him time, right? It's only the 3rd week, whatever. We have to give him time as a coach. But if he's going to blatantly, time after time after time, play all these veterans that make a lot of money but suck, while superior players sit on the bench, it's not obvious by now? Is it not obvious what is happening right now? Think about it. Laken Tomlinson, big name guy, veteran, makes a lot of money in the game. Joe Tippmann, better player, sitting on the bench. CJ Uzomah, veteran player, makes money. Right? Third round draft pick, Jeremy Ruckert, where is he? Sitting on the bench. He's better. He's better. McCole Hardman comes in. Oh, but Aaron Rodgers' buddy, Randall Cobb, who I thought was coming in to just help the guys in camp, not only makes the team, they're using him as WR3. I'm going to throw up. If Randall Cobb is our WR3 for the rest of this year, I'm going to throw up. While McCole Hardman sits there on the side. Are you kidding me? Because we don't need a guy who could stretch the defense. That won't help us. You want the pattern? You want to know how the pattern continues now? Let's talk about Dalvin Cook. You tell me we didn't have enough opportunities to get Breece Hall the ball. We only gave it to him 4 times. Every time Dalvin Cook got the ball, Robert Saleh and Hackett are stupid. They are stupid. Because Cook has no ability to hit a home run. No ability to do that. He'll pound his way for 4 or 5 yards, fine. Look at him. He's not the guy he used to be. He's not that fast, sleek guy. He's like freaking the other guy who was played for Dallas all those years, Zeke. He's all chunky now and big. Yeah, he's big and strong. He's a power runner, maybe. He can't run. He's not beating anybody. He's not hitting any home runs. You got the best freaking running back in the NFL, possibly. The guy came back from an ACL and ran to 109 yards in his first 2 carries. And you're going to not give him the ball in favor of freaking Cook? Why? Why? Because he makes more money because he's a veteran? Does this make any sense to you? When in the world, other than giving him a rest after he's carried the ball 3 or 4 times, would you ever want Dalvin Cook to get the ball over Breece Hall? How the hell do we keep a coaching staff and justify having them as our coaches when they can't do the most fundamental thing? They can't recognize what every single one of us knows. We all know that we're stronger on the right side with running the ball, right? We all know that AVT and Becton, who might not be perfect right now, AVT is still getting back into it. He's not what he was last year yet. It's not horrible, but he's certainly not the guy he was before he got hurt. Is there any question that they're better than Tomlinson and Dwayne Brown? Is that a question? Yet we're running the ball 75% of the time. Okay, I know Domsey will give the exact statistic, but I got eyes and I'm watching the game. It was to the left, to the left, to the left, one to the right, to the left, to the left. What the hell are we doing? Why are we running to our weakness? Why are we avoiding our strength? Like, what is going on here, people? I don't claim to be able to be a football coach. I never coached any level of football in my life. Baseball, maybe, but never football. So it actually bothers me when I sit there and I know that I'm right. And this guy who gets paid millions of dollars, who has the head coach position, for some reason doesn't know. And if we were winning, I would shut up. Right? But we're not winning. We're losing. So I get to complain and you get to complain because we're losing. Because the running to the left side doesn't work. And it was working when we went to the right side. So why aren't we forcing the defense to stop us on that side? Why? Why aren't we doing that? I'm not a freaking analysis guy. I don't do film, right? That's not me. That's not why you watch my channel. Maybe to see my guests who do. Tom C, certainly an expert. But you don't come here to watch me tell you about analysis. I'm not claiming to know squat as a guy who can analyze film. But I got eyes and I'm not blind. I can see when football players run by other football players and the football players that are supposed to block them don't do their job. I can see that. I can see that when we run to the right side, we get more yards than we run to the left. And I could see that for some reason, probably to trick the other team and catch them off guard, would you knock it off? You're not fooling anybody. All you're doing is running behind incompetent linemen that are overpaid that need to be out of the league while you're ignoring all of our investment. How much did we put into, how much of our draft capital did we put into Becton, AVT, and Joe Tippmann? Joe Tippmann's on the bench, right? Joe Tippmann's on the bench. AVT, Becton. AVT, what was he, like the 17th, 16th pick? What did we trade? We traded like 2 extra picks to go get him, right? Remember that punch in the stomach? We were excited to get him. Remember how much that hurt to give away all those picks? Remember that painful, how much we gave to get it, AVT? What did we give it? An 11th pick for Becton. right? Now he's playing right tackle, the same position as that guy in Tampa that we could have had at 30. We could have traded down, right? Never mind that Becton's perfectly fine playing left tackle. He got injured, but he proved when he's healthy, he's capable. But we're not using him that way. So now, okay, that's done. He's on the right side with AVT. We have a guy named Tippmann who moves players like McGovern never did in his best year of his life. Never moved players like Joe Tippmann was moving guys around at preseason. I don't care if they were second and third stringers. Makes no difference. He was moving 300-pound men any direction he wanted to. He was doing something McGovern could not do against any player. McGovern was acceptable. He does his job. He doesn't dominate. Joe Tippmann shows the ability to dominate. We have this wall on the right side that Brees freaking Hall could run behind. We could stick Ruckert on the side of that. We could have freaking Joe Tippmann, AVT, Becton, and Ruckert. And we could have Brees Hall running behind them. And we don't do it. That's my problem. It's not losing to Dallas. It's not losing. It's losing when you're making decisions that make no sense. I've been a fan for years. No coach, as much as I didn't like them, has ever been this confusing or this baffling in these horrible decisions. Even Adam Gase, right? Horrible coach. Never had a problem with who he started. Not like this. Maybe one player, two players you disagree with. Right? Think about any of the coaches, as much as we didn't like them. When did we ever have a coach that made us feel this way, that our better players are being wasted? I'm going to say it right now. I know it's too soon to probably say it, but I think that Will McDonald is better than Carl Lawson. I'm tired of the excuses. It's always an excuse for Carl Lawson. Well, in Cincinnati, he didn't get sacks because he didn't have anybody in the middle playing well. Then he got hurt for us. Oh, he's coming back from an Achilles, so that's why he's not playing well. That's why he's not, not that he's not playing well, but he's not getting a lot of sacks. I have no problem with Carl Lawson being a first or second down guy. But why the hell are we sitting McDonald? Why isn't McDonald our pass rush specialist with Bryce Huff? Jermaine Johnson, Bryce Huff, Will McDonald. Those are the three guys we should be sending at the quarterback. We're sitting our 15th pick on the freaking inactive list. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? After watching Carl Lawson do nothing. Nothing. I'm okay losing, but not like this. I know we probably still would have lost to Dallas, even if we made all those changes. They're just a better team right now. I get it. But that doesn't excuse not doing our best and putting our best foot forward. It doesn't excuse it. It's not okay. People are asking if this is pre-recorded. No, it's not. I'm live right now. I see you guys in the chat. I see you guys. I'll get to you. But I'm not done. The really thing that burns me more than anything is the Jeremy Ruckert situation. Because he's in his second year. So what the hell is going on there? What is he got to do? We got to stop playing games. Does Robert Saleh understand that he's in his third year? This is how he wants to lose his job? This is how he wants to go down? Because he's too stupid and stubborn? Because he won't play in superior players? Because he can't break this freaking obsession with the players he likes? I mean, really? Is he serious about this? Why did we get McCall Hardman? Why did we draft Jeremy Ruckert? It's not fair. I love the kid. I wanted it to be a Jet, assuming we were going to play him. It's not fair to him. Why does he have to? Their careers are what, 8 years? 7 years? And we're wasting, how many of his years of his career are we wasting for no reason? Because he has to have a stupid coach with his stupid philosophies and beliefs that have gotten us what? Let's see, 7 wins, 4 wins, 11, 12 wins, 12 wins, 12 losses the first year. No, 4-13. So 13 losses the first year, 10 last year, 23-24. So what is he, 12-24? Let me know, Matthew Smith. Am I right about that? He's 12-24. That's his record as a head coach, 12-24. Yeah, I know. His first year, he was starting with a dissected team. I know. I know that last year we were battered with injuries. I get it. My point is, you are not in a position at 12-24. You are not in a position to be, I don't know, boutique, different. I believe in starting veterans with years of experience, even if they suck. And I'm going to let draft picks that we invested tons of draft capital play 5 reps or sit on the bench and do nothing and waste away their career. Why would they stay here after being treated like that? After being lied to? After being told if they work hard and they earn it, they get to play. And then they don't get to play because some guy who makes a lot of money, because we have a selective coach who doesn't have the kahunas to go and tell those players, the young kid's going to play over you because they're better. Robert Saleh has not shown he's capable of doing that. He has not shown any strength. He sits there on the sideline looking like a deer in headlights, and it's year 3. It's year 3. Me and Greenman were literally complimenting him for his clock management at the end of the first half against Dallas. Think of how ridiculous that is and what that says about our coach. That we have to praise him. Good job for managing a clock in a 2-minute drill. This is what we're dealing with right now. And the problem with this is that we play New England. And I can't lose to New England again. I can't have it. I can't have it. Not for this nonsense. Not for this nonsense. Not because they sit there and talk about how they trust Zach Wilson, and then they don't let him play. With this ridiculous conservative play calling. Playing afraid. What a waste of Garrett Wilson. What a waste of Breece Hall. What a waste. To be on this freaking team with this freaking coach who won't let them play. Yeah, he sticks to his guns. He sticks to his system, right? Sauce doesn't play cut. We play zone. That's not my brand of football. Well, you know what your brand of football is right now? 12-24 as a head coach. 12-24 as a head coach. That's your brand of football right now. And I don't want to hear it's because we don't have the talent yet. We have the talent. You're sitting it down or you're wasting the talent. You are wasting the talent. You're letting the talent rot away with your conservative play calling. I watched Dallas on 3rd and 17 get the first down on a beautifully executed play. Beautiful, right on the sideline, 17 yards. And then I watched the team that was losing, the team that was down, twice on 3rd and 15. Twice. Run the ball. It's like a joke. That's a joke. We used to laugh at that when I was a kid. That was Joe Walton joke football. They make fun of us for years in movies and TV shows for that. You don't run the ball on 3rd and 15 unless you're the New York Jets. You know how many times I've heard that joke? That's what we're back to. We're the best wide receiver we have ever had. And that's what we're back to. We have the best running back we have ever had. Yes, maybe it hasn't been proven yet, but I promise you, when it's all said and done, there'll have been none better to ever wear our uniform than Breece Hall. Knock on wood that he stays healthy. But it might be for another team. It might never, ever be realized because our coaching It's just we could never get a break. We never get a break. We always get the conservative coaches. I cannot stand it. How many times do you look at other teams that win Super Bowls? They don't run on 3rd and 15 when they're down by 10, 11 points in the second half. They don't. They don't do that. So why are we? There's nothing wrong with looking at what works, at looking at other teams and seeing what works and finding patterns. But yet, for some reason, this organization finds a way to find the worst patterns, to find the things that never work, and just do it over. Why is every team able to do a screen pass? I mean, do you notice that? Screen, screen, screen. They're killing us all day. What do we run? 1 or 2 screens a game, if we're lucky? Someone said to me, well, you have to get first downs and not get thrown off the field, so you have a lot of places to run screens. No. Okay. Why not on 2nd down on the first fucking possession? Where's the screen? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but it's working for everybody else. Steal the tape. Look at this film. Get film from another team. Learn how to execute a screen pass. And if they're playing us in a way, if they're playing everybody in the box and they're saying, too bad we don't respect Zach Wilson, then throw it deep every play until they respect it. Put McCole Hardman in there. Have Zach back up 5 steps and toss it. Maybe we'll get a pass interference. Maybe he'll actually catch the ball. Maybe we'll get a bomb touchdown, and it will make the defense think. But you can't continue to play the short game when that's what they're defending. You can't do it. I don't care if we lose that way. If they stack the box with 8 or 9 guys, you go deep. You open up the field with Zach Wilson. If he sucks, he sucks. And if we lose, we lose. But at least we lose like a normal team. At least we don't lose by waving the white flag. And guess what? Playing into the other team's strength is giving up. That's what it is. It's giving up. When a team puts 8, 9 guys in the box and you continue to run it, that is giving up. It's not acceptable. We've waited too long. It's already disappointing enough that we lost this freaking season when Aaron Rodgers went down. Every one of us said, okay, we understand that there's not going to be a Super Bowl this year. We all get it. But I think we have the right to expect hope for the playoffs. I think we have the right to hope for the playoffs. And I think that if we're going to make the playoffs or not make the playoffs, we should at least do it with our best personnel on the field. Is that too much to ask? Is that too much to ask? I could handle losing. I've handled 40 plus years of losing. I could handle losing. I cannot handle losing because the head coach refuses to utilize our talent. I cannot handle losing to inferior teams. In no world is New England even close to us in talent. It's not even close. We're so much better than they are. It's not even close. No one that knows about football, you cannot convince me that it's close. It is not close. It is not close. We are so much better than they are. And yet I have to sit here and worry. And it's not because of Zach Wilson. It's because of Robert Saleh. That's why I have to worry. Because I have to worry that he's going to come out with some stupid game plan. And that Bill Belichick is going to coach circles around him. Because Robert Saleh is going to come out and he's going to freaking give the ball to Dalvin Cook and Michael Carter all day and give fucking Breece Hall 3 carries. Because Robert Saleh is going to march Lincoln Tomlinson out there while Joe Tippmann sits on the bench. Because when we go to 3 wide receiver sets, we're going to see Randall Cobb out there and McCall Hardman sitting on the bench. Because we're going to see C.J. Uzomah out there with Jeremy Ruckert standing on the sideline. What the hell is going on? That's not an acceptable reason to lose. That I will not stand for. That I will go nuts, and I will lead you all, and you lead me, and we all get together and lead each other, and we demand better. We start putting petitions to Woody Johnson saying, look at him, he's an incompetent coach. He's not letting our players play. I gave him year 1. I gave him year 2. I'm done. I'm sick of waiting for his magical plan to unfold. What's this magic plan that somehow that's going to make it okay that he's keeping better players on the bench? What did Randall Cobb do? What did Randall Cobb do? What has he done in 5 years? How is he in there over McCall Hardman? Before McCall Hardman got hurt, he was on pace to get 700-800 yards last year. He was starting to bloom as a player. Watch the film. I was excited when I watched the film on that kid. I said, oh, wow. I haven't seen him on the field. What, once, twice? This is insanity. It's insanity. Xavier Gibson should be on the field in front of Cobb. Cobb should be the WR5 or WR6 on this team. Are you kidding me? Maybe in an emergency situation, maybe for some reason you think we should have a veteran out there. Fine. What the hell is he doing as our WR3? What is going on? I don't understand it. I can't enjoy watching a team when I don't understand what they're doing. I don't see this in any other team. I watch all these other games, and they all use their best players. I talk to other content providers, and I ask them, do you have this problem with your team? I asked Payo Time, do you ever get mad at their personnel decisions? You know what he said to me? He goes, no, because we have our best players out there. Because what's really cool is when they get hurt, it's next man up. And we have a really good system that players are able to come in. Remember Puka Nuka? I was drafting Puka Nuka in the 7th, 6th, 7th round in my mock drafts. Puka Nuka's playing. They don't care that he's a rookie. He's lighting it up because he's good. They don't care when he was drafted. They don't care that he's a rookie. All they care about is he's performing. He's executing. He's doing his job. Jeremy Ruckert has come out and executed every single time we've asked him to. He's done everything right. He is laying people out. It's exciting. I don't remember having a tight end that does that. We have 3 guys who do that. Joe Tippmann lays people out. Becton lays people out. AVT lays people out. Jeremy Ruckert lays people. 4 guys. And we're using C.J. Uzomah. What is going on? A guy who's accomplished nothing. An average tight end at best. A well-rounded tight end. An okay tight end 3 to have on your team. A good attitude in the locker room. He's fiery. Yeah, emotional. He's had some good moments on the field. What do you think, Cincinnati's stupid? Why do you think they let him walk? Why do you think they let him walk? Because he's not that good. He's okay. He's a tight end 3. We drafted a really good tight end. His name is Jeremy Ruckert. He has a great first name. Maybe the best first name in the NFL. And yet we don't use him. Now I'll look in the chat. It's so frustrating that year in and year out, the Jets handicap themselves for no reason at all. They refuse to adjust when they need to. They have a plan in place and they are stubborn and they're too stubborn to go away from it. Exactly. Let's just let CeeDee Lamb catch 30,000 catches against us. Who cares if we have Sauce Gardner and we have Reed and we have guys capable of covering him one-on-one? That's not our brand of football. Our brand of football is not to make any adjustments. Let them continue to just beat the crap out of us and win the game. Let's just give away this game because at least we could say we stuck to our system, right? I feel like a venting post, laughing at the conversation and all. Yeah, this is my rant, guys. Sometimes I need to go rant. You could disagree with me. Anybody who's watching can completely disagree with me and think I'm out of my mind. You might agree with me. You might agree with me on some things and not other things, and that's fine. But this is as honest as I can be. This is the way I see it. Do I think that Robert Saleh has redeeming qualities? Yeah. For the first time in our lives, we're not embarrassed at press conferences. Well, it's getting a little embarrassing that he just sits there and is like, they're really good. What are we supposed to do? But at least he's not Adam Gase. We don't got bugly eyes, right? We're not doing this. So there's that. The culture's good. His defensive scheme is fine most of the time. My complaint is not I don't have any problem with our scheme. I think it goes back to what D-Bar is saying. It's about adjustments. It's about keeping other teams off balance and not making it so easy that they know exactly what we're going to do at every moment. I mean, CeeDee Lamb figured out what we do. He figured out our zone. He figured it out. We had no answer. There's no chance. Our coaching staff gave our players absolutely no chance to win that game. No chance. No chance. Because CeeDee Lamb, I mean, even if we got the interception touchdown from Gardner, none of it was going to matter because there were no adjustments. Oh, they kept moving him around. That's why we couldn't have Jeremy Ruckert or a tight end help. Dwayne Brown was struggling all game. He hasn't had enough practice. If you're not going to bench him, at least give him some help. I mean, was that so hard? You're going to sit there and tell me it was because Parsons was moving around? Dwayne Brown was a turnstile. You got to give him help. Get the fullback in the backfield and let him use some judgment. I don't know how it works. Is he allowed to do that? Is that such thing as that where the fullback decides where to go and help? Like they snap the ball and he looks and he says, oh, they need me over there. And he runs over and blocks. I don't know. Something. Other than allowing them to run through our line and kill our quarterback. Like what John Matsuak once said in North Dallas 40. You chicken shit cocksucking coaches. That's funny. Yeah, look, man, it's just I could respect. I mean, and understand. I mean, like I said, 40 plus years of losing. I can handle losing. I've learned how to handle losing. Okay. I've lost much bigger games than this. We're 1-1. If we beat New England, we're 2-1 and we're feeling good. We're better than we thought. We're halfway through the 6-game massacre schedule, and we'd be 2-1, only one win away from getting that much talked about 3-3 record, and then having the rest of the season, to get through and make the playoffs. We're in great shape if we win this Sunday. That's not my I'm not waving the white flag. I haven't given up on the season because one win and everything is better, right? But not really, because my problem isn't that. I'm tired of waiting until we're 1-8 to explode. I'm going to explode now because I feel like whether it happens or not, that we are needlessly putting ourselves in a situation to be 1-8. Or to be 2-7, or whatever it is, that we are putting ourselves in that situation when we don't have to. Like, if we're going to be 2-7, let it at least be with the best guys possible on the field. Let it be where we take chances, we make adjustments, we throw the ball downfield. I just want to be like every other team. Watch every other team. Every other young quarterback is balling out. I mean, I'm not saying they're great, but they get to try. Howell and this guy and that guy, they're throwing it downfield. Zach has an arm. He has a rocket arm. He's staying in the pocket. He's doing what they're asking him to do. Let it rip. If he sucks, then he sucks. But you're not even giving him a chance. We're not. How are we giving him a chance? When we're so conservative. He has this great star, all-pro, possibly legendary future Hall of Fame running back behind him. Give the guy the ball. I understand the first play of the game sucked. But that's not on Breece Hall, right? That's on our offensive line literally did not block. It's like they thought it was a screen pass play where they're supposed to let the guys run through. It was a joke. And that's on our offensive line coach, our offensive coordinator. They have to look at the film. It's beyond looking at film. They have to understand what the hell is happening. How are they not ready? How do you go into an NFL game not ready? How did these guys line up and not block? They didn't even block. Breece Hall got the ball handed to him, and there were 3 guys there. It wasn't like one guy made a great play. Their entire defensive line walked through our offensive line. I don't understand. I really don't understand it. I know we got our hands tied with Dwayne Brown. It's a bad situation because we're waiting for him to catch up. We could, and I don't know if I'm right to say Becton should move over. Like, I don't know what the answer is, right? But Lincoln Tomlinson, there's no excuse. He sucked since we got him. He sucked all last year. So what are we doing? I just don't understand what we're doing. What does this say? I'm so blind. Does anybody did a film review on Lincoln Thomason? I saw where he graded in the high 80s for the Cowboy game. There's no way he graded in the high 80s, did he? That's a joke. He sucked. He sucked. There's no way. It's got to be a mistake. Because he sucked. That's why I don't care about those grades. I don't care. I'm not going to listen to anyone. I don't believe it. I watched the replay. I watched all the key plays. I did the thing. I have YouTube TV. I have the whole football thing. I didn't get to watch the all 22, but you didn't even need it. I mean, he sucks. He sucks. He runs. He jumps and hits air. He's blocking ghosts. He is absolutely horrendous. He doesn't move anybody. He gets pushed around. He's awful. He's awful. If he's in the 80s, I got to find out about that because that's crazy. That's absolutely nuts. But I mean, who knows? I've watched PFF do some crazy things when it comes to the grading. But no, he's garbage. No one's going to convince me otherwise. Because that's not me analyzing. That's just me as a football fan watching a game. So I'm not saying that I watch tape and film and I understand why he's not good. No. I watch him specifically because I hate him so much for screwing our team so bad, for taking all that money and not playing well. I hate him. So I watch him. I tell, when at the watch parties, if you watch me in Green Bean and if you watch us do the reaction party, you'll see me saying it. I'll be like, okay, keep your eye on Lakin. There he is. I actually do that. I'm like, okay, I'm looking at Lakin right now. And I'll do it for other players, but I do it for him a lot. And then I'll look at the screen and I'll be like, did you see that? The guy got by him in a second. It's like every time I look at him, it's bad. Maybe I'm the jinx. Maybe it's when I don't look at him, he's great, and that's why he scored high. I don't know. Maybe I'm a jinx and I should stop watching him. But it feels like every time I watch him, he stinks. And every time I've ever watched Joe Tittman, I know it was only in camp and it was preseason games, but every time I've watched him, he's done nothing but impress me. And again, I'm not a scout. I don't understand the technical part of blocking. Like I never played organized football. I only know what from my eyes, like any football fan that's not trained. Right? Most of us haven't played organized football or really have been coached about technical things. I go to my friends for that. Obviously, he comes on, he talks about that, and all that's fine. But I do know that if it's a running play, your job is to push and create space and not have the guy through you and tackle the guy. Right? I do know that when it's a passing play, you're supposed to block them and stop the guy from going right through you and sacking the quarterback. And what I'm watching is a guy who doesn't do those things well. And when I watch other players, they they do those things. You know, I mean, to me, Chattanooga looked much better. They moved him to the inside. We didn't do that. Why? I don't know. Right? We said it. Green Bean used to say it. Let him play guard. They never moved him over. They let him go to Dallas. He's better than Laken Tomlinson, or he played better. I'm not saying he played great, but he was better than Laken. It's not saying much because Laken sucks, but still, we're paying Laken $20 million. We let Adoga go; he was free. Cost us $700,000 a year, and we let him go. For what? We're paying $20 million, and they're paying what? What are they paying him? $1 million? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Because they make these judgments about these players, and they don't let go of their judgment, even if they're proven wrong on the field. They just clearly don't do it. They clearly don't let the performance on the field sway them. They are stubborn. Like, this is just too much about pride for them. They don't want to admit that they were wrong. Nick Shine called it, by the way. When Dalvin Cook was a free agent, he said, we don't need him. Don't waste the money. Just keep Bam Knight. We don't need Dalvin Cook. Now, I don't know if I agree with that. I'm not picking on Dalvin Cook. I don't think he doesn't look great. He's certainly not. He doesn't won me over as being this great football player, but he hasn't done anything wrong. The problem is we're paying him $7 million, and the problem is that Coach Saleh is too much of a wuss to look him in the face and say you're not getting any carries, or you're going to get 3 carries, 4 carries. Breece Hall's getting the bulk of the work. I don't care if Michael Carter and Dalvin Cook get some carries, but it's got to be made very clear you are a freaking backup running back, and that's all you are. I don't care if they're paying him $20 million. He's a backup running back. He is not even close to Breece Hall. He's not at the same level. He's not in the same league. He simply is not. You could tell in 2 games. We've watched 2 games. And that much we know more than anything. It's not even close. It's not Breece Hall's a little better than Dalvin Cook. He's at a different level. But, hey, it's not a knock on Cook. Breece Hall's on a different level than a lot of running backs. I think I'd rather have Breece Hall than Saquon Barkley. I mean, Saquon Barkley could never stay on the field anyway. But even when he's playing well, I'd take Breece Hall any day of the week. Any day of the week. You take away that injury, the whole world would know it already. I don't know what it's going to take for the world to realize it. I mean, they were going to realize it, but then we only gave him the ball 4 times. So now, people look at box scores. Everyone was calling me that's not a Jet fan. I wasn't watching the game saying, hey, did Breece Hall get hurt again? Because they couldn't believe he only got 4 reps, 4 touches. Ridiculous. Everything's the excuse of, well, we didn't have the ball long enough to do screen passes. We didn't have the ball enough plays to give Breece Hall the ball. Well, on those 1, 2, 3 and outs, what the hell were we doing? What were we doing? Someone please tell me what we were doing. If we couldn't be throwing screen passes and we couldn't be running Breece Hall to the freaking right, what were we doing with those plays? How is it an excuse to say we barely ran any plays? Right. The reason we barely ran any plays and the reason we were 1, 2, 3 and out all the time was because we didn't run those plays. First down, we get 8 yards, 9 yards, and then the next 2 plays we couldn't get 1 yard. I mean, that happened yesterday, 2 days ago. That happened. Breece Hall went 8 or 9 yards, and then we couldn't get the first down after that. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Dallas put on a clinic. They showed us what we should be doing. Piece by piece, they took everything we gave them. Now, teams aren't going to give us the short stuff, right? They're not going to do it. Or that's not the MO. That's not what they've done. They haven't given us the short stuff, right? They take away the short stuff, which is why you have to go deep. You have to open up the game and open up the field. And if you say, well, Zach Wilson can't do that, then why did he get to be our quarterback too? If you're going to sit there and say that Zach Wilson can't do that, then why the hell is he there? And I don't believe it, because I've seen that kid throw 30 yards like a cannon. I've seen him fire a ball 30 yards, bullet into people's chests. I've seen it. I know he's capable of doing it. He's staying in the pocket. He's going through the progressions. He's doing it. Let him play. Do you know that the plays where he's not under pressure, he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, like the last year, I think? There's some stat out there. Matthew Smith will find it. Finnegan, if Finnegan was here, he'd find it. There's some. I saw it on Twitter. It's a real stat. There's some stat one that he has time, like over a certain amount of seconds or something of good protection. He's like a top quarterback. He's up there with the big names in the top 5. But he's the worst under pressure. But he's under pressure so much on this freaking team that that's all we get to see. And guess what? It puts him in shell shock. All we got to do is give this kid some freaking time. All we got to do is give him some time. We got unlucky. Somebody hit his arm. It sucks. Somebody didn't hit his arm. That was a touchdown to Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson would have had 2 touchdowns on Sunday. Sucks. There's nothing we could do about it. I mean, it just happened. But they got to open it up. They got to let him be him. They just got to trust. They made him the backup quarterback. We put ourselves in this position. We have to just live with it and trust him. We can't be a handicap football team. We can't go out there and be limited. We just can't do that. You can't win that way. We have to go out there with a real game plan. We have to go out there with real plays like any other team. We have to allow Zach Wilson to throw down the field. We have to. Not press the ball. Not press the ball. Just have a full array of plays. It's all I ask. We are at the 1 hour mark. Oh, my wife's going to go to bed. That's not good. I want to go to bed. Anyway, those of you that are here, thanks for staying up with me. I tried. The reason I wasn't too interactive with the chat is because I wanted this to be more of a video for people to watch throughout tomorrow too. So I wanted to, acknowledge that you guys are here. I appreciate it. I highlighted some of your chats. I see you all. I appreciate you watching, listening. But I also wanted this to have more of a feel where people can watch it tomorrow and not feel like they're watching a bad replay, but they're watching a video of a bald guy losing his mind. And by the way, I shaved. You guys get to be the first to see it. Look at me. I'm a true egghead now. I'm not even an egghead. I'm too fat to be an egghead. I'm a watermelon head. Later, everybody. Thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for letting me rant. I appreciate people being here as I screamed, cried, and ranted. I needed to let it out because I'm frustrated as hell. And I'll leave you with, what am I going to leave you with? I'll leave you with this. Oh, yeah. Go. Amazing. That's my boy. That's my boy.
He breaks away from a sack and completes the pass for first down.
Oh, Kittle just may have made the most amazing catch.
He fights for the first down and gets out of bounds, too.
It's no good. Overtime. Oh, what a catch. How do you drop that? What are you, Jamal Adams? Touchdown.
This is a touchdown all the way.
He reached over the pylon. San Francisco beat Cincinnati.